Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Right now, there is a case in court challenging the passing of Cybersecurity Bill 2025. I think you all know what it means if this bill will be allowed to be operationalized. And so, the Red Member of Parliament, Honorable Otiende Amolo, was on a debate and he was giving his views as far as how that bill was passed in Parliament. If you listen to Otiende Amolo, there are about 2-3 things that you should be very careful any other time when you have a chance to elect your leader. The first thing that you should know as we are heading to another campaign and election, never give a person that you think should be the president supermajority. The other issue is that when you are voting for your leaders, vote carefully so that you are voting for the people who will work with their brain, people who understand the issue of legislation. And probably you should be very careful with the candidates who are fully funded by a presidential candidate who seemingly can win an election. You know, we can have candidates who do not have resources to fund themselves. Then someone comes in, and I will use an example of Malava. You must be very careful with the people like Inangungwa. So first of all, listen to him, then we'll go deeper to understand what it means when it comes to election.
When the cybercrimes law was being debated, we opposed it. But what happens in Parliament ultimately? There's something called mood of Parliament. That mood is the most difficult thing you can deal with. Because you can go there, you have your minutes, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 5. You will wax lyrical about why the legislation is bad, what it will do and all that. And the speaker and the rest of your colleagues will just be looking at you. And then the speaker will put the question. Once that question is carried, that's it.
Otiende Amolo is among members of Parliament who opposed the Cybersecurity Bill. And for sure, people of Rereda gave us one of the best. When you listen to his debate, even in the Parliament and anywhere, on radio or TV, you see a leader who is very sober and a leader who understands indeed what he's doing. He understands the law properly. And when there is a chance in Parliament, he does not just really necessarily vote in the party position. He has his position, which is the people's position that he represents. So he has talked about the issue of the mood of the Parliament. That you can be a good debater. You debate. Then, after you debate, you wasted your time to talk about the positive side and negative side of a bill in the Parliament, trying to convince your colleague on why they should either vote for or against. The sad thing is that he has said your colleagues will look at you in silence because already they have a predetermined decision. The bill has come and already someone has directed them on how to vote for that bill without necessarily listening to the debate. However, you are challenging them with the fact. They have a predetermined decision. So, when this bill was passed It seems like many members of parliament were whipped just to vote blindly. And they voted blindly. And having done so, then the bill is here being challenged. Because the speaker will be looking at you, as he has said, then he will put the question. The eyes and the nose. Then that will be the position. Jumani nikakwambia vote careful and make sure these members, these aspirants or candidates, you vet them carefully. Ujiulize, can we get another Otiende Amolo? That in your senator or MP, can we have another Sifuna? Once you have an answer to that, then you go ahead and vote. But otherwise, we have a big problem. It seems like we vote for leaders who goes to parliament to represent a president, but not the people that voted for that person on their behalf. Now, akotuna delegated power that can be taken back by the people when they see that we don't really represent their interest. So imagine if you have a president like William Ruto who would want to whip everyone to vote in what he wants. Then you give William Ruto a super majority. Imagine what will happen. They even pass laws without consulting anyone because he will whip everyone, he has the super majority, and that will be the position. It is very dangerous to give a presidential candidate a super majority. It is not something to celebrate. Pea namba karibu na ya huyu mwingine. So that if there is anything, the other side will just need few votes from this other side. You convince them. Then you can. But if you give that person a super majority, imagine what will happen. We will end up having laws like the ones that we have right now, which gags everyone that you cannot even speak. Like even how we are here. Huwezi kuja kwa kamera hivi uanze kuongea freely. Hii account inafungwa tu hata bila chochote. For example, the reason why I said be very careful when you are voting for a candidate who has been fully funded by an individual who is looking for presidency or that powerful position. Ndakwa, for example, today. Can Ndakwa stand in parliament and vote against William Ruto's wish? He can never. Hata kama itamaanisha betray everyone, he will do so. They came with their money, their poor resources. There was economic empowerment everywhere. They came with their mattresses. And you saw very well this was a government project. Imagine how he will vote against William Ruto. He can never. Baru Kibeta atakuwa anamwangalia tu. So he will always be whipped to vote in certain direction. Hao ndo viongozi tunaongelea kwamba tukiwapea nafasi ya uongozi, wakifika kwa parliament, they end up betraying the community. Because there is someone who put them there, and they have always to please that person. Because if I have a know-how on how I put you somewhere, I also have a formula on how to remove you there. So lazima kila siku uniinamie. Imagine if you have a leader who cannot listen to facts and debate. Huyo ndio kiongozi wako. Tunasema hii sheria ni mbaya kwa sababu someone lays the reasons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rather than debating on those facts that he's bringing, Your leaders are just not even listening. They are looking at you, not listening to you, not listening to your argument. Then they go ahead and vote. If you have leaders who can be bribed, who can be whipped like that, who will not think with their brains, we will end up having leaders who will destroy our constitution. Sasa inabaki tu tuna depend on the courts that the constitution is superior. Therefore, even if you come with a law that is against the constitution, the only solution we can do is to take you to court, that the court will overturn that decision. So tutakuwa na viongozi ambao hawawezi kusimama na ukweli wa mambo. And tutakuwa na bad quality of legislators. Sasa hawa jamaa wanangoja tu Wetangula to put up the question, and the issue is just yes. Now, I don't know your views, but please let us meet in the comment section so that we can continue with our discussion. Again, another quick reminder, if you are watching this channel and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. And where necessary, kindly support the program by just sharing. Press on the share button and share to other platforms. Thank you so much, and see you in our next video.